Hello, Internet, and welcome back to JL Plays. Thank you once again for listening to my little podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Batman Soul of the Dragon. Also, I am going to get something off my chest when it comes to video game reviewers and $40 versus $60 games. Yeah, so that's where we're going to be at today, and maybe a little bit more, and a few other recommendations that of things that I've been watching this week or for the past week or so. Okay, so here we go. Now, with regards to what I've been watching, I just saw let me see, what's it called? Beyond the Wire with Anthony Mackie on Netflix. It's a sci-fi film about a super soldier type of thing where Anthony Mackie plays. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it for the most part. And then there was a moment where I thought it was going one way, but it really went the other way, and it just took a curve, and then it took a curve, but then it kept going the same way. It kept going on a straight line. So it's like in the straight line that I figured it would go. I'm like, okay, so that's interesting. I don't know if I should do a full review on that or not, but the movie itself wasn't a best sci-fi film. It was just a very, for me personally, a very typical sci-fi film where not even sci-fi film, just a typical film really, where I've seen this type of entertainment and type of thing before. So yeah, it's if you like Anthony Mackie, he kills it. He knocks it out of the park in this, and you should definitely watch it for him for his performance alone. But on the overall scale, it's a very average film as far as plot wise goes, and don't expect too much as far as plot. It's just very basics. Everything is A to B, A to B, A to B, and that's all it is. Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I did enjoy myself watching it, but I do intend to enjoy myself watching the most ridiculous um films, considering the review from last week with Meteor Moon. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Beyond the Wire. Also, I just started watching the new season of American Gods. I've been enjoying the first two seasons somewhat, not very much, but somewhat, and it's a really good season. Good characters. I really do enjoy the Odin character, but everybody else, it's I enjoy the god characters more than anything. The human characters to me are just garbage, but the god characters is the only reason I watch them for. So yeah, that's interesting, and I think I'll go into more in-depth review of that next week, but I'm not sure yet. Unless a really good movie comes out and I just need to talk about that, then I will just talk about the movie and do a little synopsis on American Gods. And also, as I mentioned before, I am rewatching the Stargate SG-1 series, and I'm currently up to like season 4. But one of my favorite things it happened in season 3 when it came to the Asgard and the SG team, the conversation they had. It had me literally crying on the floor on how hilarious the conversation was. It was just really quick. And here's a snippet of it for you guys to listen to.
You have demonstrated their weakness may be found through a less sophisticated approach. We are no longer capable of such thinking.
Wait a minute, you're actually saying that you need someone dumber than you are? You may have come to the right place.
Thor, with all due respect to your situation, we need SG-1 here.
I could go, sir.
I don't know, Carter, you may not be dumb enough.
Okay, so sorry about the bad audio, but that was the best audio I was able to grab considering I was recording it from a TV. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the what I want to talk about this week, which is the $40 versus $60 game argument, where where people seem to think that because it's a $40 game, there needs to be some sort of pass on it over a $60 game. I'm sorry, but if you're releasing a game $40, $60, $30, it doesn't matter. The game better be complete. It doesn't matter what platform it's on. It doesn't matter what thing you're trying to do with it. If you can't make a game that works properly on, let's say, the Nintendo Switch or the Xbox or the PC, whatever your platform of choice is, if you release a game and it doesn't work, regardless of price point, that's BS. That is utter and total BS. You should be held accountable. A $40 game should not get a pass just because it's a $40 game. A $30 game shouldn't get a pass just because it's a $30 game. $30 is a lot of money for certain people. $40 is a lot of money for a lot of people. So to make an argument that because the game came broken and it's $40 or $30 or what have you, it's okay. It should get a pass of some sort or should be looked over is utter and total bullshit. And I'm sick and tired of game reviewers. I am sick and tired of hearing game reviewers say that, I guess because it's a $40 game, they had little problems with it or whatever. No, just take more time to develop your game to make sure everything works right. Just take the time. If you don't want to take the time, then it's on you that your game sucks. And you should not. And then when people get pissed off at you because they spent $40, they spent $30, they spent $20, they spent $60, it's you need to look at yourself as a company, as a game developer, as a game publisher, and say, yeah, we effed up. And nobody, no game reviewer should be letting this pass as an excuse for why the game came out broken or not working properly. And I just want all game reviewers out there, if you happen to be listening, shut the F up when it comes to giving these game companies a pass because it's a cheaper quote-unquote game. Like I said, $40, $30, even $20 is a lot of money for a lot of people. And to say that it's a $30 game or it's a $40 game, it's utter BS. Don't ever use that as an excuse, saying that it's okay. It's a way out for these companies to say that the reason why the game came out broken or not fully, through the fact that anything else, it came out broken regardless of price point, and no company should be getting a pass on this. And that's something I'm seeing a lot of these days, is like people are giving companies a pass because the game is quote unquote cheaper than $60, which is BS. Money is still money, and money is important to a lot of people, and video games is a luxury that the majority of us, yes, can afford, but there's another majority that can only afford a certain amount of games a year. Not everyone can get $60 games every time it comes out. Not everyone can get a $40 game every time it comes out. Some of us have to take our time and enjoy the one game or the two games or even the three games if we're lucky that we're able to purchase in a year. But to say that, I'm just sorry. I'm just keep reiterating what I keep saying. I just keep repeating myself. It is just so frustrating to keep seeing this, and I'm sick of it. So yeah, if you listen to other game reviewers and you hear them give an excuse of like, oh, it's a $40 game, oh, it's a $30 game for a broken game, then call them out on it. Just call them out on it. It is utter bullshit. Okay, sorry about that long tangent that I had just had, but it is so frustrating and so annoying to really hear that. And this is why I'm gonna end that argument or just that conversation. If you have anything that you like to add, please email me at jlplayspodcast@gmail.com, and we can have a conversation. I can read your email on the air. And yes, on the air, I will be able to read your emails or just reply to your emails and just let me know what you think. So here we go with our main review of Batman, Son of the Dragon, the new animated film from DC Comics or Warner Brothers or AT&T, depending on who's top bill these days.
Nice pad.
Richard,
You haven't changed at all, Bruce.
you might be surprised.
What was that back there? The mask.
It's a way to keep my lives separate. I can't think of the last time we saw each other.
I bet you can remember the last time. The first time, too.
I'm eager to learn.
They all say that. Ben Turner, Richard Dragon, Shiva. Disciplined, honorable. She's very dedicated.
That was a quick clip from Batman Soul of the Dragon. Now, how do I start this? Okay, let's see. It's a Batman story that doesn't really need Batman. The only reason that it has Batman is so it could have gotten the green light to be made. Now, it's an animated film, and yeah, it's pretty good. It was pretty fun. It's a good hour and about 30 minutes or so with credits. So I was just like, okay. You see Bruce Wayne. It's a lot of flashbacks in the beginning and throughout the entire story. Like I just said, I did like it. It's very well done. You have a character that's pretty much Bruce Lee, but because they can't get the rights, they call him. His name is Richard Dragon, but you could obviously tell that they really wanted to make it Bruce Lee here. And also Shiva and Bronze Tiger. Yeah, those are the main four of the story. You had a side character that name is Jade, and another character, I forgot his name. He was just another character who was just there for plot progression and nothing more. So they're pretty much irrelevant after the first flashback. But yeah, this is a really well done story, considering it's not really. It's called Batman Soul of the Dragon, but it's really more about Soul of the Dragon and not really about Bruce being Batman whatsoever. It is just happenstance that he's a part of the story. And yeah, you could obviously, by watching, you could tell that he's really not in any which way whatsoever in this movie or in this story in general. But it was still fun to see him there. He dressed up as Batman, I think, twice. That's about it. 2 or 3 times, I think, at tops. The whole time he was just there, reminiscing with his fellow classmates from the dojo they were part of, or the secret martial arts facility that he found in the mountains, which you find out later is actually on an island, and which made no sense considering how they literally introduce you to the location. And if you watched it, or once you watch it, you know what I mean by that. But yeah, overall, that's my take on the Batman Soul of the Dragon. It's a story that they wanted to tell, and they needed a way to get it told, and they put Batman in it. So Batman is second fiddle here, and that's it for that. From here on in, I'm gonna go into spoilers.
Ben.
Shiva.
I assume you're in some kind of trouble.
The Cobra Cult, a worldwide organization of murderous zealots.
Kill them.
We have to stop it, no matter what.
I ain't ever gonna turn down whooping somebody's ass.
Okay, and here we are at spoilers. Now, let me talk about the animation. The animation is actually pretty smooth, considering. It looks like they spend a little bit extra time making this film, or at least letting the animators have a little extra time at the animating the film, so everything looks pretty smooth. The fight scenes are really well done. They're fun to watch. The voice acting by the actors is extremely well done. As always, they do get some of the best Hollywood actors to do these, so I'm not surprised there. Also, just the overall whole thing with it all being a snake and it's all being Cobra. The main bad guy just happens to have snake eyes. that was a bit over dramatic and over the top, and I think just too bluntly to the point. Yeah, no, I just found that funny. So yeah, the ending and everything else. Here we go with the fact that the whole movie is about Cobra trying to open the gate to this god godlike creature or just demon, and they need a vessel, and they need the Shiva sword, and they need a soul. They need to kill somebody with the Shiva sword, and to so it can open the dimensional gate to the astral plane wherever this demon is. And from there, the demon comes out. And the demon comes out in their old sensei's body, because we're gonna go back to the beginning now, where yeah, when they first when the gate first opened with these students, they the it just happens to be the white guy. Why not? What was his name? Rip. I think his name was Rip, and he kills Jade. The like I said, like this is where the two characters didn't actually meet anything to start other than plot progression. So yeah, Jade and Rip here are the ones that just sacrificial lambs for this story. Rip ends up killing Jade. Yeah, the soul to open the doorway. Then Rip opens it, of course, and then he gets stopped by the four: Shiva, Richard, Bruce, and Bronze Tiger. I forgot what was his main character's name. And then they stop him. The only way the gate can be closed if it takes a soul to open it. It takes a soul to close it. Like Avengers, Infinity War with the Soul Stone. So that they use that trope. And from there they lose their sensei. They all leave. They all go their separate ways. Batman, Bruce goes back to Gotham or finds someplace else to train. And then years later he finds Shiva, becomes an underground, the lead of one of the toughest boss for the triads in all of Gotham. She runs the underground, or the underworld, I should say, of these mobsters and killers and things like that, thieves in Gotham, and she's just there. Richard becomes this, I guess, James Bond type of character, which you see in the beginning, where he's like, when he goes and tries to steal the plants, find out what's going on, all that detective work that he does. At first, I thought it was Dick Grayson, but yeah, because I actually was expecting this to be a Batman story. So when I saw Richard, I was like, that's an interesting take on Dick Grayson. But it ended up being this Richard Dragon, Bruce Lee. And from there we go, and he, flies down. He escapes because they caught him, obviously. And then he ends up landing on this yacht like James Bond would. And the ladies ask him, "What's your name?" And he goes, Richard Dragon. And cue intro music, which I found very interesting, very funny. And from there, we get all this, and from there he goes to Gotham to find Bruce, to help him out, and then he also needs Shiva. Then they go find Bronze Tiger, and once they find Bronze Tiger, they're on a plane. Bronze Tiger gives him his backstory of how he ended up doing what he's doing, how he knows about the Cobra or the Syndicate, whatever this is. And they finally make it to the island. Luckily, thank goodness, after Bronze Tiger tells him his backstory, that's the last flashback that we get. From there, now we're back in the monastery, what's left of it, and the gate doorway thing is still there. They're fighting. They have some great fight scenes with some of the bad guys, and then the gate ends up opening. That's when you see the old master come, and from and they're fighting him. They thought they stopped him, but oh, guess what? He's still alive. He can still come back to life because he's possessed by the demon, or whatever it is. But then you find out that the demon really wanted Richard Dragon to possess, because he was the only vessel for him all this time. And from there, they ended up stopping him. Richard ends up stopping him with Shiva's sword, which stabs him through. So then, and from there, they end up losing their master. The demon gets stopped, and they start fighting. I'm wondering, or arguing, I should say, about who is gonna go through the gate to close it. And by the time, then they just cut to Batman being already inside this demon's world. He's already through the gate inside this demon world, and the rest of the guys come like, you really didn't think you're gonna leave us here, do this without us, did you? And credits, because it has to end that way for whatever reason. Like I said, I was actually wondering who they were gonna choose to actually. Was it gonna be Richard? Was it gonna be Shiva? But I figured it was gonna be Richard Dragon more than anybody, and because this is his story, and this is going to be his sacrifice. But no, when I saw Bruce in there, I was like, oh, snap. That's different. Then you see the rest of the guys come, and then you see the gate closing behind them. All right, so I would like to know the conclusion of this part. That would have been nice to know how they get out of there, if they are able to get out of there. Because technically they're there to kill the demon snake thing, whatever it is. And that's it. And we have the credits. I was hoping they would have something in the after the credits or mid-credit rolls to explain, to show something extra, but they didn't. That was the movie. Enjoy your little story. That was it. It's just one story about Richard Dragon with Batman. Oh, look, we have Batman, and obviously you can tell that when you watched it that. It was just Batman being there because they needed a way for them to greenlight this project, and good for them. If that's what they needed to do, that's what they needed to do. It really doesn't detract from the story whatsoever. It just adds a little nice little cherry on top for it. And that's it. Pretty much, like I said before in the non-spoiler section, I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was a nice little rental. Guys, rent it yourselves. Find out for yourself how much you liked it. I'll leave link down in the description for you guys to watch with your kids. It's definitely there is, if I remember correctly, there is some blood. Maybe I'm just misremembering, but yeah. But that's it for Batman, Soul of the Dragon. What should have been a Bruce Lee story. And I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoy this podcast very much. Thank you all for listening.